You're listening to Luke at BRoto Fantasy. Follow me on Twitter, which is MCRSisBlue. And you're listening to Dynasty Hotseat. Let's go.
Yes, hello everybody, and welcome back once again to the Dynasty Hot Seat. You guys know what it is. It's the only Dynasty show out there that is a certified inferno. And today we got a great guest on with us. We got Luke sitting over here. I got my hands on. He's sitting over here. You can find him, as I said in the intro, at MCR's Blue. And, he was working over at BRoto Fantasy. He does some stuff for, King Fantasy Sports and 5-yard rushes, along with the Touchdown NFL. So, a very, very busy guy with lots of knowledge, about the NFL. Not as much knowledge about, all the football, because he's a Man City fan, but we'll let that slide. We'll not get... We'll put our swords aside, as a Liverpool fan. I'll put it aside for now, but yeah, at least for a week. We'll see what happens on Sunday. But for today, we're delighted to have him here on the show, and he's got some hints, he's got some tips, and then we're going to put him in the hot seat to see how he does with this mock draft. So, Luke, thank you so much for coming on the show. How are you doing today?
No. Thanks for having me as well. Really appreciate it. It's great to be part of something that's absolutely fantastic and taking over as well. Really brilliant.
Cheers, mate. That's very kind of you to say. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, what you got for us for your hints and tips. So let's get rolling right into section number 1, the art of war, with your hints and tips. So what do you got for us?
Yeah, so the first one for me is take value wherever it is. All too often I'm playing with guys and they're looking just to draft rookie each and every single time. And for me, I'm taking value as bad as it sounds. The likelihood that most dynasty leagues are still going in 5 years' time is very slim. So I go in there with the mentality of win now. So yeah, it's one of those. It's something like, I don't know, a lot of people have in some of the leagues that I'm in, I'm seeing the likes of Brees Hall going above the likes of CMC. For me, I'm still taking CMC all day long. He's proven he's done it, and I'm not willing to take that risk. Somebody like Brees, as good as he is, it's one of those where, like I say, in 5 years' time, I'm probably not going to be there to see the benefits a bit further down the line. So, so I'm always going with a win now mentality when I draft. It's basically like an aggressive redraft mode sort of draft, really, every single time.
Yeah, I really like that. And, you're right. It doesn't always, go the way you expect things to go as well. Like it is, it's sometimes, putting too much on, like thinking too much. You're like, I'm going to draft this guy. And then in 2 years, like this guy's going to be out of contract, so they'll let him go. And then my guy's going to be the guy. And there's too much what ifs involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think, play to those strengths and take the proven thing is,
This is it. You've got to let the board play out. Like you say, if you've got, I don't know, in a lot of the leagues, a lot of the people that you play with tend to be going for so many youngsters and rookies every single time.
Yeah.
Some of the older boys out there, like Dalvin Cook, he's offering great value at the moment. I'm seeing from the Vikings coaching staff that they want to get involved in a lot more in the passing game. So for me, something like that, if he's going to add what he's already added over the last few years, along with the passing bonuses as well, and he's sat there in the second round, I'm taking him all day long. And I'm going to say, I'm not looking at one of the youngsters like Kenneth Walker or anybody like that at that point. I'm going purely on the guys that have proven themselves and are going to offer me benefits straight away. As like I say, I go in there with that mentality that if he's finishing 5 years, I'll be winning those 3 or 5 years. And if it's still there in 5 years' time, then absolute bonus. And I'm probably in a rebuild mode from there. So, and again, it's having that college football knowledge of being able to obviously see who's coming through, which moves me on to my next tip really is when you can, watch college football. Obviously, for me, in a lot of the leagues that I've been in for the last couple of years in Dynasty, I'll be honest, I've got the likes of Tom Brady, which I'm quite glad come back out of retirement this year. So otherwise, I'm looking in a bad place in a lot of leagues. So again, it's looking at that. Obviously, I'm looking at next year thinking I'm going to get this year out of Tom Brady. And already I'm looking at the draft class next year, seeing the likes of CJ Stroud, Bryce Young. Obviously, these are guys that are going to do a job. And to be honest, they're a lot better than what were in this year's draft class as well. Both of them two straight out the gates. So it's getting that knowledge on, straight away on who these next stars are going to be. As kind of contradicts what I say, but obviously you need to look at your roster and when these rebuild phases come around, it's knowing who to target.
Yeah, I think like watching that college football and knowing about college football, I think just gives you that such an advantage as well. Like at the minute, I'm sort of a bit like, I'm a bit.
Yeah, this is it.
I'm looking on enviously at the minute because I kind of got rid of most of my 22 picks long ago and I cashed them out for like 23 picks plus a bit on top. So at the minute, I'm like, no, but I know next year I'm going to be like, it's just patience.
It will. There's some good players next year.
Really, definitely.
So, it's one of those, obviously, because I do a lot of college reports for the likes of BRoto and 5 Yard. Obviously, I kind of had a bit of an insight on the players that are going to be good value.
Yeah.
So that is another benefit of watching the college football is straight away you know that you can probably give a bit of leverage on some of those picks and find value a little bit later down. So, for instance, like the likes of Samuel White, Rashard, not Samuel White, Rashard, he's gone to Tampa, obviously. I can see him getting that job by the end of the year, if I'm honest. And again, he's started to move up the boards, but earlier on, I'm picking him up sort of mid to late second round in a lot of leagues. So it's getting that watching college football gives you that added advantage. So I definitely recommend that wherever. And the thing is, it's good to do as well because for every Justin Jefferson out there, you get a Ruggs or a Jalen Reagor as well. So again, that's another thing that does put me off sometimes drafting some of the youngsters because for every diamond in the rough, there's a few nasty picks in there along the way. Yeah,
it's part of the game, right? And it's always, it's Jalen Reagor. I'm like, I think it's just enough time where I'm ready to laugh about drafting Jalen Reagor now. But it does take a while, but eventually it's like, I remember I drafted that guy. I think the Trey Sermon guys might take another year, but they'll get there.
Yeah, I've seen rumours today that he's meant to be getting cut, apparently, from the 49ers. Yeah,
wow.
It is. And it's like, I've seen it this morning come out, and they're saying about, obviously, the fact that they traded up for a running back this year. Yeah, and obviously Elijah Mitchell last year shot out the gates out of nowhere. He will. I'm quite glad in a lot of my leagues I managed to pick him up early weeks on the waivers. So he sat there, and again, it's one of those where even watching college football, I couldn't predict the breakthrough that he was going to get. But it's one of those. It's a great pickup on the wall. And I'm going to say that's another tip as well. Work that waiver wire as much as you can.
Yeah,
I know it's a given, but you need to be in there.
Did you see my tweet I sent out today?
No. What's that?
I think I've got the greatest ever waiver wire pickup in the history of the game.
Go on.
So the waivers were closed during for a while, a few weeks until after our draft. So I picked up 4 players on the waivers.
Yeah.
Let me just make sure I'm getting it 100% right. So I picked up Tom Brady.
Nice.
On waivers.
Yeah, take that all day long.
Yeah, I got Tom Brady. I got Albert O.
Nice.
Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
And Daniel Bellinger.
Wow. See,
all for free.
Yeah, this is it. And you can do a lot worse than grabbing Tom Brady off the waiver wire as well.
I couldn't believe I got all 4. Because some other people bid in with a dollar or something. I don't think anyone else bid for Tom Brady. I was like, what are you guys doing? You guys are sleeping. Yeah.
The worst thing is, obviously, like I said, I've got Tom Brady in a few weeks, and as he retired, straight away I'm like, I'm going to drop him, and then I seen that like that phase of it's a rumor, it's not a rumor.
Yeah.
He didn't announce it himself, so I kept him, and then just kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
And then when I revisited start of the year, I'm like, thank God I did not let him go because. Yeah, seeing somebody else take him after I've dropped him, I'd be absolutely good.
That happened to me in one league. I was devastated. But I feel better. I got him back in another league, so I'm feeling okay about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes up for it.
Yeah, definitely. So I love that tip as well. Work that waiver wire. Get those what did I think I called it before, like a waiver wire wonder. There's always one every year. It's usually a running back. It's usually a running back. There'll be one this year. It's just trying to figure out who that's going to be.
It is. It's trying to figure out who it is. And again, pretty much coming off the back of what you said as well, is in the off season, work that waiver wire. A lot of people switch off.
Yeah.
And that is your time to pounce. So a lot of the guys, as soon as the fantasy season's over, they kind of get bored of it and wash their hands of it for a few months. That's the time to pounce when some of these guys are dropping off, and make the most of that. And my last tip is, for me, when I join a new league, I kind of do this bit of a sneaky tactic and sort of just drop it in there, like, follow me on Twitter, blah, 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 and I'll follow you back.
Yeah.
Straight away, you get the insights into who they're wanting. And basically, getting that added advantage, following them on social media with your new competitors that you never played with. Make it out as if it's really nice, like, follow me on Twitter, do this, blah, blah, blah. And really just delving into every single prospect that they're high on. I probably shot myself in the foot today, so I've been saying how high I'm on Smith Jr.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I honestly, I got shot a few times for it, but I think he'll be a top 8 tight end this year. I really do.
I don't see why not.
Because you look at the top 5 stud tight ends. After that, I don't think there's much between the next 5 to 10 afterwards.
I think you'd be hard pressed to say he's like that. Dalton Schultz is so much better than Irv Smith Jr. and Schultz finished top 5 last year. So
yeah, and you look at the ADP there. Irv Smith dropping to round 10, 11, 12 in a lot of it as well. So,
and they don't have anyone else either. So I'm like, okay.
This is it. Like, they lost Conklin, and then the last year when he was fully fit, they had Rudolph there. But obviously, he moved on and to a little bit in New York. But obviously, he's got those vacated targets coming his way after an injury. He's going to have points to prove this year as well. I'm more than Irv Smith, and he's young as well. So in Dynasty format, well worth. For sure.
Completely agree. And completely agree with all those tips that you've given us as well. And I think that's sound advice for any Dynasty player, no matter how experienced they are. Just keep thinking all the time and stay on your toes. And
think outside the box a bit as well.
Absolutely. So love those tips. So now it's time to put Luke firmly into the being part of the show, the hot seat. So I can see you shifting already. It's like,
I'm on edge.
Yeah. So let's get that hot seat loaded up in part number 2 coming right up. Yes, here we are. It does look different. Bit of a technical glitch with the Dynasty Nerds app. I'm sure everything will be fine. So we've gone to Sleeper. So let's have a look and see how we get on Sleeper. And see if there's any differences. This might be a fun little experiment as well. Why not? Let's see if there's any differences between that app and the Sleeper app, and if we can grab different players than normal. So Luke is sitting on the hot seat. Luke's been sitting on the hot seat for a long time, actually. We've been trying to sort this out. So we got to get going before we need to rush him to the hospital. So we've got pick number 7 locked in. So let's just start the mock draft on Sleeper and see who comes off the clock right off the beginning. And you can really assume that it's going to be, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and those guys coming off the clock.
Usual culprits in it off the board straight away. Fingers crossed.
There we go. That's a bit better.
There we go.
So it's our turn. So let's pause the draft. Yes, perfect.
There we go.
So we got there in the end. We're finally on the clock.
We're on. We got there.
So let's have a look who we have. We got Justin Jefferson, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Najee Harris, Dak Prescott, and some other guys. Anyone standing out for you there?
There's only one choice here for me, if I'm honest. Obviously, last year I'd have gone Kyler Murray all day, but for me, I still want that rushing quarterback that gives me that added edge. So I'm going with Lamar Jackson here. Obviously, he had his injury problems last year, but I think this year he comes back and he locks down that.
Yeah,
that role that was seen from him a few years ago. So so I'm going Lamar Jackson all day long. Yeah, it gives me that nice advantage I want straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. I like Lamar Jackson in that position as well. So we'll just resume the draft and get Lamar Jackson locked into our team there. Yeah, at 7 is really impressive, isn't it?
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get some more value coming right round to us again at our second pick. And I'll pause the draft here and we'll have a little look at who's available. Christian McCaffrey and Mark Andrews and Austin Eckler sitting near the top.
Oh, I see. It's out of 2 for me. See, I'm a run back heavy kind of guy, so I can't actually decide between McCaffrey and Eckler here. Obviously, Eckler's been stuff for years. McCaffrey, the out number 1 if he is fit. So I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to go McCaffrey here. to have McCaffrey and Lamar Jackson off the first two.
Yeah,
if they hit that, they're gonna do quite a big job for me straight away. So let's lock in McCaffrey here, I'd say.
Yeah, the players who were like 2 years ago might have went 1 and 2, like McCaffrey and Jackson. Yeah, so to get them
one of them comes off, it's got the credentials of the title winner there. So that I'm more than happy to set them in the first 2 rounds. Yeah,
I really like Chris McCaffrey. I wish that the Panthers would actually play McCaffrey more out of the slot or something like that, so he's not getting banged up as much. I think he's good enough to do it.
Oh, absolutely. What have we got here? Let's have a look.
Trey Lance. Rumblings about Trey Lance being a bit rubbish, right?
No, I'm a little bit worried because in a lot of leagues I've drafted him again purely because of that rushing element that he had. The couple of games he played last year, he bought that, but I would say I in one of my work leagues that I do, we kind of just do the standard sort of restrictions, and I bought him in off the waiver.
Yeah.
He did well 1 week, and the next week he flopped big time. So so I'm going to avoid Trey Lance at the moment. I'm looking here at, again, I'm looking at the value. I'm going Derrick Henry or Tyreek Hill here.
Yeah.
I like Tyreek Hill in Miami. A lot of people don't, but I think he's going to get that gadget role. But then there's a lot of depth in the wide receiver room this year. So let's. Like I said earlier on, my tip is I'm going to go gung ho. So I'm going Derrick Henry again.
Nice.
So Derrick Henry, CMC, and LJ straight away. I'm actually myself, to be honest.
You're immediately just ready to win right away. I really like it. And like you say, you never know with some leagues like how long they're going to last. So
this is the money leagues, you tend to get 2 or 3 years good value. But then after that, people lose interest. You just want to rake in that money and take it home with you. So what have we got here? We got
Alvin Kamara still there, Nick Chubb still there, Antonio Gibson. Oh, I have no idea what to do with Antonio Gibson right now.
I'm not keen on Gibson at all.
No.
What have we got? I'm going to say again the value. Got to think here because New Orleans, obviously, they're one of those teams that last year Alvin Kamara wasn't the guy that he was before. But I think this year, when they've strengthened up with their wide receiver, because obviously last year they had no Thomas, nobody. So they always looked to me a little bit cautious in terms of being on the field overly long. This year they've added some nice depth. Thomas should be back. So let's go Kamara. I'm going to say I think he'll come back this year. Not that he disappeared last year, but I think he'll be back to those numbers we've seen a year or two ago anyway.
Yeah, and I think the way he plays, he doesn't take too many heavy hits or things like that. No. So he should, even though he's slightly older running back, I think the way he plays, it's not too much of a concern at all. So
he does offer that sort of reception side of things sometimes out the backfield, which I'm always looking for as well. So
absolutely. And oh wow, what round is this? Aaron Rodgers still there, round number 5. Yeah, and this is super flex, so that's pretty nice.
I am sort of thinking now's the time. Obviously, I've got my running backs. I'm pretty happy with that. So one of them can sit there in that flex spot every week. Yeah, I think now's the time. Obviously, see Aaron Rodgers sat there now. It's a bit stupid not to take him. So I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers here, purely for the fact that that's my 2 quarterbacks covered. I've got one hell of a nice running back room, and now it's time to focus on those wide receivers and see what we've got there.
Yeah, I love the value of Aaron Rodgers there. That is fantastic in the 5th round. And I think he is genuinely falling that late in a lot of leagues as well, because people keep thinking that quarterbacks age like other players. They just don't.
They don't, do they?
He could play for another 4 or 5 years.
All these guys still going on with it as well. What have we got?
Teams are trading for Matt Ryan. He's is Matt Ryan? Is he 39? What age is Matt Ryan?
He's 37, is he? I think.
Yeah, and teams are willing to give up capital to get him. So
and again, it's going back to the same sort of mode I've got in Dynasty. Is these are guys that are proven. You want to go with the guys that are going to do a job and get it done. So that's kind of where I'm at in terms. I'm like the LA Rams in Dynasty. I'm just going for it now.
Yeah, love it. And speaking of proven guys, got a few up here as well. Like Mike Evans is sitting there, and a couple of younger prospects like Zach Wilson and Chris Olave there too.
This is it. See, straight away, my eyes are drawn to two players here. I've got Keenan Allen and Zeke Elliott. I know a lot of people aren't high on Zeke, but at BRoto, we do like fantasy comparisons, and Zeke was actually in the top 10 last year for consistent RB1 performances and RB2 performances. So even though a lot of people sort of fell off him a little bit, he was still one of the top running backs last year.
Yeah.
On an off year, or a so-called off year. But normally I'd take Zeke here, but I'm looking at the fact that I'm pretty well covered at running back, so I'm going to have to go Keenan Allen. He's a target hog out there. I know he's old, but I want somebody who's going to get me points, and the main target hog in a pass-heavy offense as well, which having Justin Herbert at the helm. And again, it's that sort of time when I look at it, if I'm playing Justin Herbert one week, I want to be getting some of those points off those touchdowns that he's throwing. And yeah, Keenan Allen's the guy that's going to obviously counteract that as well.
That is a really I've never actually thought about that. Like, you know, a good way to kind of counter these three, you know, absolute electric quarterbacks is get their receivers and play them against them. Like, that's a really interesting way. Yeah.
If these quarterbacks are scoring 6 points off these touchdowns, the likelihood is it's going to be Keenan Allen or Eckler. I want a piece of that pie, which Keenan Allen's a good chance that I'm going to counteract that. So, what have we got now?
You got Kenny Pickett and AJ Dillon sitting up there, and Hollywood Brown, an interesting one. Obviously, he got traded to keep Kyler Murray from running away, and then Amari Cooper up there too.
2, maybe 3 actually. Again, I'm going to go for somebody a bit younger this time. So the 3 that I'm eyeing up is Hollywood Brown, Bateman. Now that obviously he's got the slot spot like locked down in Baltimore.
Yeah,
and I'm a big fan of Sky Moore. I think he takes that Tyreek Hill role.
Sky Moore is way better than Mecole Hardman. Absolutely.
And I'm going to say he's going to fill in that slot position for the Chiefs, and he'll be a target that early days, if he proves himself, Mahomes is going to go after him every single time. So probably a little bit early to roll the dice in the fact that I've only got Keenan Allen. So I'm probably looking at Hollywood in the fact that Hopkins is obviously suspended early doors.
Yeah.
He's going to get that advantage straight away. AJ Green he's one of those that I'll probably look at in rounds 15 to 16 if he's still on the board as a bonus.
Yeah.
So I'm going to lock in Hollywood Brown here purely for the fact that he seems to be the number one guy. Obviously, you got Rondale Moore, but I still think Hollywood's going to take that as well. Especially they've given up on him.
Yeah, they've given up a lot, and obviously I would be shocked if that wasn't a direct request from Kyler Murray as well. So
yeah.
I think if Murray's wanting him, then Murray's going to be looking for him. So yeah, I think that's a great pick there, and yeah, that's in the 7th round. I think that's great value there, and we see a couple of tight ends sneak up there with like Dalton Schultz, Dallas Goedert. Don't see our guy Irv Smith yet. He might be available a bit later.
Which is one of the reasons why I'm holding off tight end. I'm going to eye up Irv Smith for a bit of value later on. So I'm not keen on Darnell Mooney as much as other people. Obviously, I think that I just don't like that Chicago offense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Ayuk, he'd be a good pick. Again, I'm a little bit reluctant on Ayuk purely because I don't know the situation around Debo. If Ayuk, he could prove to be great value here. So if Debo don't play this year and holds out, Ayuk's going to absolutely bomb.
Yeah. It was weird he got kind of put in the doghouse for like half of the season last year as well. That was odd. I'm a bit afraid of that happening again.
This is it, isn't it? This is it. So who else have we got here? Let's have a look.
If we scroll, are you wanting to see a particular position?
Yeah, if you look at wide receiver for me, obviously I'm looking to strengthen up that room a little bit. So
yeah, so you got Michael Thomas there is real. I have no idea what to do with Michael Thomas. Where to take him?
Yeah, Renfro, I can see him regressing. Obviously, Adams is going to take a lot of touches.
Juju Smith-Schuster, an interesting one as well there.
Yeah, I'm going to say we're eyeing up Juju. The other one I'm looking at is Robinson.
Yeah.
Purely, yeah. We'll roll with Robinson, I think. Obviously, I've openly said I don't think Cooper Kupp's going to have the year that he did last year. There's no way you're keeping that form going for a second year straight. So I think Allen Robinson takes away some of those touches in a much better offense than what he had last year. So,
and I think as well when you're like they win the Super Bowl, obviously whenever teams are playing now against them second year round, now they've got a second crack at trying to stop Cooper Kupp. And a lot of the times that does work, having that second go. And the guy that's going to be open then is going to be Allen Robinson. So he could have a cracking season. Yeah, I completely agree.
Really good quarterback throwing the ball to him as well, haven't you, really? Yeah,
man,
so.
what a guy. It's it's not talked about enough. Those like Matthew Stafford obviously had that monster season with Cooper Kupp and that season with Megatron. Is that like that 1 and 2 most receiving yards of all time?
Stupid, isn't it? I'm going to say he's pretty much set the records on his own, and it's one of those. As a Vikings fan, I'm glad he's it made a very, very poor Detroit team over the years.
Yeah.
If I'm honest, obviously, they've been a pretty poor side for a number of years. So I'm glad he's gone well out of the way of Vikings.
Yeah.
I'll take Jared Goff all day long over having to compete against Matt Stafford.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely, and we're not going to see Jared Goff for a little while on this list, I don't think. But Tom Brady is still there, which is interesting, and Miles Sanders is there. I think Miles Sanders might have a good year if he can stay fit. But he's
isn't it? Yeah. Who are we looking at here? See, I'm going to go with another veteran. I'm going all in again. Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
He's just one of those underrated guys that I had him in a few leagues last year, and he just consistently put up solid numbers week in, week out, which is what I'm wanting from my sort of third wide receiver off the board. And if I'm getting that value here, then now I can start looking at tight ends, stacking up in other positions for cover as well. And like I say, now I can start targeting some of these younger guys. So so this draft board's actually worked quite nicely to me, and the fact that I've managed to get me veterans, but there's still some younger guys on there like George Pickens, looking at Jahan Dotson. Yeah,
still available. And Brandon Cooks is one of my favorite players to draft because people think he's 35, which he's not. And I think also people don't, because you don't hear him because the Texans are rubbish. So he's not on red zone a lot. Like he's not like, he doesn't flash, but he just gets the job done. And I'm loving Davis Mills. I think Davis Mills is a good player, so I think he'll do a good job of getting the ball to Brandon Cooks as well.
And this is it. And you can see last year that it was Davis Mills' favourite target by a mile as well in that offense. And it's one of those. I think we see that again this year. So having him there as the third guy in the wide receiver room, I'm absolutely chuffed. I keep saying, I won't mind this team myself, if I'm honest. So.
It is looking really good. And Davis Mills' ears must have been burning because he is sitting right there as well. Right behind the saddest man in New York, Michael Carter.
I know. The poor guy. He had a cracking year last year, and
he was great.
Nobody wants him now, do they? He's just got no value whatsoever.
I know, it's such a shame, but who knows? If Breece Hall could end up. No, he can't. I was going to say could have Pintrest. He's got to be really good.
Breece Hall was one of those that in the best ball league that I did the other day. Obviously, I was 101 on the board, and for some reason, all the RBs went off the board. So by the time it came around to me, I took him at 212, and I'm really happy with that as well.
Yeah,
he's going to get a lot of touches in New York, and he's going to be their main guy. So as much as good as Carter is, the one thing about Carter is, from a Breece Hall owner point of view, is he might take away some of those red zone looks that obviously give you those bonus points. So, but here, I'm probably saying it's one of those where I'm now looking at tight end. Obviously, I've got my starters all locked in now.
Yeah.
I've got the flex covered pretty much, I think. And I think it's time to look at tight end. So I'm looking here, and I don't like Noah Fant. I've never been a Noah Fant fan anyway.
No.
And the fact that he's now got a worse quarterback thrown to him, I'm avoiding. Komet.
Well, he might have the same quarterback. if he's really unlucky, he'll have the same quarterback.
And Cole Komet, again, I like Cole Komet, but it's just that Chicago offense. I can't trust anything in that. And each year I get those teams where, in years gone by, I don't draft anybody from the Jaguars, the Jets. And Bears is one of those teams I avoid. Zach Ertz again. I'm going to go Irv Smith here. I'm going to stick with my boy purely for the fact that out of those there, I think he's the one who's got the highest ceiling out of these guys. Obviously, there's there's no competition in that locker room. And yeah, he's got a point to prove this year as well. So yeah, so I'm quite happy with that there.
Yeah, I can't wait. I've been sitting on a load of Irv Smith's just been on my injured reserve on like 10 leagues last year. So he's just been sitting, waiting, ready. It's like having a Ferrari in the garage. I'm ready to let him let loose. And I think, yeah, he's gonna have a big year, hopefully. So yeah, I'm all in Irv Smith as well. And we're in round number 11. We got, Jameis Winston still there. I'm like, are people forgetting that Jameis Winston is the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints?
Exactly. I wrote an article the other day for 5 Yard, basically saying the 3 best streaming quarterbacks this year, and Jameis Winston was one of them, purely for the fact that a lot of people are forgetting that they've got Olave, they've brought in Jarvis Landry. They've also obviously got Michael Thomas coming back, and you've got Kamara out in the backfield. I'm going to say, if he can't do it here, then there's no hope. So for me, at the ADP is going at Jameis Winston's an absolute gun start, and he slings it as well. He's one of those players, admittedly, that can throw stupid amounts of points and then throw a stupid amount of interceptions in the same game. But it's an interesting ride. So yeah, let's roll out Jameis Winston here as the sort of backup QB here. So
I really like getting that. That's great value in the 11th round. And let's not forget that he has, one of the best warm-ups in the NFL. That is absolutely glorious to watch.
It's worth it for that, isn't it? Yeah. It's a bit more intrigued on a NFL Red Zone.
And wow, we've still got lots of quarterbacks sitting there as well, like sitting there and some tight ends as well. This is I'm noticing now there's a bit of a turn, right? It's now like, who am I going to take? It's a bit trickier. Adam Thielen, obviously, there. You obviously probably a guy close to your heart.
That is my guy straight away. Again, I know he's aging, but like you said earlier on, you got these guys that are obviously, like Justin Jefferson is the main alpha in our side, and obviously he's going to get locked up a lot more. And last year, as we've seen with Thielen, he before he got injured, he was scoring the touchdowns and taking away the red zone targets, which, having him here, I'm taking him all day long. Let's go Adam Thielen. The clear wide receiver 2 in Minnesota and a team close to my heart, it's a no-brainer for me here.
Yeah, I think people keep saying like, the Adam Thielen's touchdown regression is going to come. Like, why?
Yeah, exactly. There's nobody there to challenge at the moment.
Why would you think that? Like, it's not like he's scoring these long ranging touchdowns. Like he's getting open in the red zone, like
the red zone, exactly. And
that's the savviness,
exactly. And this draft here, we didn't draft a wide receiver to come in and obviously take that WR2 role. So I think that may be next year, if I'm honest. But for me, obviously in a Dynasty league, I'm looking at it thinking the value here to take him here is a no-brainer, even if it's for 1 year. And then obviously try and trade him in the offseason while his value is high and get some picks in for next year. So
yeah. Absolutely, and you get one injury, and you're not going to be sad about playing Adam Thielen. So we'll get him locked in. And Robert Woods just went off the board there right before I picked there. He's another sneaky good player. And there's Jared Goff. There he is. We talked about
him.
There he is. He's all the way, he's below Matt Corral. Wow,
that is. that says a lot.
Yeah. Saying that, I probably would take Matt Corral ahead of Jared Goff, but So we got our load of quarterbacks sitting there. Ronald Jones of the Kansas City Chiefs is sitting there as well, which is interesting. Jalen Tolbert as well, who's got a lot of hype coming about him over in Dallas.
What running backs have we got left available at the moment?
Let's have a look.
I wouldn't mind somebody like Algier or somebody like that if he's still on.
Yeah, Tyler Algier. Let's see.
He might have gone, has he?
Maybe. Benjamin's there. Unless he's all the way.
Sure, he's on.
I can search for him.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can spell Algier, but I'll give it a go. He's gone, unfortunately.
I see.
Yeah.
He's going to be one of those that takes that running back role by the end of the year. Who forgot here? So now, because I've got a strong running back room, I'm looking at the handcuffs. So straight away, I'm looking at Chuba Hubbard. Obviously, if CMC goes down, he offers me a bit of leverage with what I've drafted. So, yeah, for me, I've got to go Chuba Hubbard. I don't want somebody else taking the benefits of of my second round pick in CMC going down. So yeah, I've got to cover myself with Chuba Hubbard here.
Chuba Hubbard coming in. Now, I might be wrong, did Carolina take Donta Foreman?
They did, yeah. Again, Chuba Hubbard did a solid job last year, I thought, when he went. So I wavered him in a lot of leagues.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he did he wasn't outstanding, but he did a solid job. So, and the draft capital they spent on him, I think, obviously, to bring in Donta Foreman, he's just going to be an accessory piece more than anything.
Yeah.
In my eyes, anyway. But who knows? It could well be proven wrong here. But yeah, I just need to give myself that leverage here, because obviously if I've used second round capital, I need a bit of backup here, I think.
Yeah, especially with McCaffrey as well. Like, you must be thinking like, oh, there is a chance, that this happens again with McCaffrey. And I mean, I don't know what happens to Christian McCaffrey then. That'll be really interesting to see what you do with him.
With that Chuba Hubbard, even if he's not locked down that role in Carolina, in years to come, he's not the oldest. He'll get traded away, and he's still going to have value there anyway in the long run. So
yeah, absolutely,
win for me there. What have we got now? So
again, these quarterbacks, no one is touching any of these quarterbacks in this draft at all. And then you got Tyler Boyd. Yeah,
in Indianapolis, I like him there a lot, to be honest. But I've already covered myself with a quarterback. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go. Let's have a little look. What have we got in the wide receiver side of things at the moment? So obviously,
look, Kenny Golladay still there, Tyler Boyd, Khalil Shakir. He's got quite high for Khalil Shakir, I think. But yeah, I like him, but yeah, that's apparently a lot of people like him.
Just on the edge of the screen that I'm taking here is Jarvis Landry in.
Oh yeah,
I like him there a lot. Obviously, I'd imagine probably Sleeper's not caught up with the fact he's signed for New Orleans since, but he's offering great value there for me. Obviously. Yeah, he's going to be one of the guys that Jameis looks to target. And that week or those weeks I've got to roll out Jameis instead. If I can get that stack there with them two, then win-win for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like, who knows what's going to happen with Michael Thomas? Like, he might not play, and Jarvis Landry could have a much bigger role than you might expect.
If he's done this year as well. I really want.
Yeah, I don't know if he's maybe going to take a page out of his mate Calvin's book and just put a bet on for a bit of time off and go from there. Yeah. So we're sitting here now in round number 15. I've still got wide receivers on. I'll show you everyone again. And wow, look at that. Wow. This quarterback situation is crazy. It's just people are just not wanting any of them. And Odell Beckham there. Odell Beckham is still a free agent, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So. Again, there was so much rumours about him joining the Packers and all this. That they seem like they've got everything. Like you said, they've brought in some good draft players out there. Yeah. And they seem to they've been buying in like really sort of just average wide receivers. So I think they're just basically saying we're going to go with this for the year, and next year we're going to go for it in terms of targeting some elite wide receivers again. I'm not saying that what they have drafted this year isn't elite or potential, but. The players they brought in through free agency and kept says that they're just probably going to go through the motions a bit this year. So so I'm probably going to look at tight end here purely because as much as I love Irv Smith, I need something just to back up in case if we don't roll out the way I think he's going to do or the way that he might do.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's still a couple of really good tight ends sitting there. Like, I like Brevin Jordan. I like Gerald Everett at the Chargers. There's Hayden Hurst at the Bengals is pretty sneaky. Sneaky.
It rang the other day. I realised he'd even gone there. I didn't even know he'd gone there till a few days ago. So so I'm a bit shocked when I seen him when I was looking through the queues and that on Sleeper, and I'm like, I didn't even know he'd even joined there, to be honest. But I'm looking at this one guy. I know he gets injured a lot, but when he's there, I like him a lot. He's Logan Thomas. I know he's getting on, but I do like him here as a backup to a guy that's going to take a lot of targets. I'll quite happily roll out Logan Thomas for a year. And looking ahead to next year's draft class, I know there's some good tight ends there to target with that draft.
Yeah, Logan Thomas was definitely even as far as the top 5 tight end 2 years ago.
Yeah. This is it. And obviously, I know he's hit by injuries a lot, but when he plays, he is one of the top guys that you've got to roll out as well.
I think
Minnesota have got a tough week as well.
Yeah, I think he's a good player, and now he'll have he'll have Carson Wentz sitting there with him as well. And, that, like, obviously Wentz and Ertz had like a legendary link up because he liked throwing the tight end so much. So it could be big.
This is it. And even last year when he were in Indianapolis, he still looked for Mo Cox quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Mo Cox is a lot worse than what Logan Thomas is. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm quite happy with that just for a backup. And it's one of those now. You're kind of at that situation where you're looking at a board trying to find value now in this sort of round, aren't you? Rather than position and things. So
Carson, no way. Carson Wentz is still there as well, and Matt Ryan is still there in the it's round number 16. Wow, that is, yeah.
See, I'm kind of looking at it thinking I'm going to go aggressive here in the fact that I know I've already got 3 quarterbacks, but covering for any injuries or duplicate bye weeks, I'm going to go with Matt Ryan purely for the fact that he's done it for so many years in Atlanta, and he's got a much better supporting cast in Indianapolis. Like Pittman Jr. He's quality. You've got the rookie Alec Pierce. I like him a lot as well.
Yeah.
I think his support cast is much better. So to have him there as an option to roll out, I'm happy with that big time.
Yeah, I think that's great. And was that your 4th quarterback, Matt Ryan? Yeah,
exactly. I'll take that.
Fantastic.
Nice to have that.
And I think we kicked off a trend. Wow. Kicked off a trend. Yeah. So a lot of those quarterbacks no longer there. And you got Donovan Peoples-Jones kind of wedged in there between some quarterbacks. And this is where it gets a bit tricky, I think, this one at the back end. It's like you're looking for potential upside. And it's hard here as well because you got some players that are maybe good NFL players, but might not do much for your fantasy team. Like MVS maybe is an example of that. Like might do a job, but
he keeps lingering around every round, doesn't he as well? So I'm kind of thinking, obviously, the fact he got paid to be the sort of one of the main guys there, it's a nice pick to have. Obviously, MVS is the guy that I'm kind of edging towards. What have we got at the running back side of things? Because obviously, it's that stage where I'm just looking for somebody that might have a little bit of value there. Who we got?
Jerome Ford. I don't know why he's that. Snoop Connor. The Jags did move up, I think, to take Snoop Connor. I don't know if it's because they thought it was hilarious because he's called Snoop. But yeah, he's there. I feel a bit sorry for Dearness Johnson. I think Dearness Johnson is a really, really, really good running back. He's just behind 2 better ones, unfortunately.
Behind probably the best running back tandem in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shame, really, because, And again, he's another one that last year I picked up on waivers was Dearness Johnson. For a couple of weeks, he was absolute dynamite for me, but you knew you weren't going to get the position. It's one of those you just kind of got to filter out and drop out against. He's not going to win that until probably joins somebody else, or unless it's Kareem Hunt or Nick, but unless if Hunt goes. So but again, Hunt's one of those guys. You forget how young he is, and he's one of those. He could easily take the RB1 role anywhere for a lot of teams there, but he's quite happy to stay in there. But for me, obviously, I'm looking at this. I think we're going to go back to MVS purely. I'm looking at Keontae. Who was it? Oh, where was he gone? I've lost it now.
Where was in the wide receivers? Sorry,
it were in the running back. Sorry, it were Keontae.
Oh, sorry.
I forgot his last name now. It's Keontae.
Is it Ingram? Keontae Ingram? Is that right?
Yeah, Keontae Ingram. Yeah. So,
he's been drafted.
Been drafted already after all that. So one of those. I think if James Conner goes down with an injury, knowing his injury history, nobody else there that's going to take that running back role apart from him. So he's gone. So I think we look at obviously MVS.
Yeah.
Looking at the value there, I think he's just having Patrick Mahomes thrown to you this late on and picking up a bit of value. I'm all in for that.
Yeah, I think MVS is definitely someone I'll be taking, especially in like best ball leagues. Because I think he'll have massive weeks some weeks and then be tricky some other weeks. So I think he's a great best ball buy. And I don't know, it's hard to tell with MVS. Like he's only really had that one real role at the Packers, which is just you run there and see what happens.
Yeah,
so
I'll just throw it your way and hope it hits. But I'm going to say, I think, with somebody like Patrick Mahomes thrown to you, he's got every chance of having a pretty good. And the thing is, in Kansas at the moment, we don't know who the wide receiver one is at the moment whatsoever.
No.
It could be Juju, it could be MVS, it could even be Sly Moore.
Travis Kelce, but who's the best on the rest? Yeah, yeah. But yeah, who's the rest?
He's a clear guy, but in the wide receiver room, it's a roll with the dice at the moment for me.
Yeah, I've literally no clue. My instinct is by the end of the year, it'll be Sky Moore.
I think so. I hope so. So I've got a best ball league, Sky Moore.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed.
Absolutely. It's with our last pick.
Final pick. I'm probably going to go running back room again. So obviously, I'm a little bit cautious that if one of my main guys goes down, I need somebody that might. There's not a lot of that.
You do have both backups there at New Orleans as well.
Yeah,
Smith and Ingram. And then Keyshawn Vaughn, but I think after they drafted White, I don't think Keyshawn Vaughn's actually going to play that big a role, though, is it?
I don't think he's going to get any snap. Yeah. At all. I'm probably.
Probably scroll down.
I'm probably going to go Jeff Wilson of all guys, purely knowing how run heavy San Francisco are. And Elijah Mitchell, like I say, I know firsthand that Elijah Mitchell last year, towards the playoff side of things in fantasy, he missed a lot of crucial weeks for me. So knowing that you've got somebody like Jeff Wilson there to fill in. And looking at the Trey Lance situation on what's been said today, I think he's got the RB2 role there at the moment. So I'm quite happy with that in the last round.
Yeah, I like Jeff Wilson there in the last round as well. Like he's stuck around for long enough. They obviously like him. So
yeah, exactly. Not to cut him quite yet. So
absolutely. Right. So this looks absolutely glorious. That's how we read of this. So we've got, after an amazing draft, you got your quarterbacks here. You got Lamar Jackson locked in a quarterback. You got how have you got Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry? It just looks so. I know obviously both of them have dropped, but it just looks so weird seeing both
them both together.
Right, they should never be in the same team. But you got both of them.
This is it. Going back to that aggressive redraft strategy. If I'm getting McCaffrey and Derrick Henry in redraft, you're just wondering what the hell's gone wrong. So to have those sat there, you'd like
fantastic.
to think you've got year one in the bag. So
yeah, certainly, especially with Keenan Allen, Hollywood Brown, and Allen Robinson as your wide receivers. Our guy Irv Smith, tight end one next year, he's going to do it. And then, by the way, if Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry wasn't enough, you've got Alvin Kamara as well. Does Alvin Kamara? What number does Alvin Kamara wear?
AK-42. He's missed a trick there. AK-42.
Aye. Yeah, what are you doing, Alvin? Come on. And then Brandon Cooks as well as Aaron Rodgers there too. And then the bench not too shabby either. James Winston, Alan Thielen. Alan Thielen? Who's that? Adam Thielen. Chuba Hubbard, Jarvis Landry, Logan Thomas, Matt Ryan as a fourth quarterback is great.
I'm happy with that. That is steel.
MVS, Jeff Wilson. Yeah, mate, you got to be delighted.
That is insane. Like I say, all day long, I'm taking that in any league I'm in. It's you've got nice running backs. Obviously, you've got a decent wide receiver room.
Yeah,
all solid quarterbacks, and two tight ends. Admittedly, a lot of people might be a little bit like, but Irv Smith, he's the only guy.
What do they know?
Because otherwise, it's going to be a case of working that waiver wire for a tight end, which that's why Jeff Wilson's there. If he's not getting what I'd expect out of him, you look at cutting him and bringing in the tight end to cover that. So Greg Dulcich was still there towards the end, and I think he might well take that tight end run, which you might not like as an Albert owner, but
I'm newly minted Albert owner, but I might be able to trade him away. I'm not a huge Albert O fan, but it's like I'll take him for free.
Yeah, that's it. Take it all day long.
Yeah, definitely. So mate, I think you've done an absolutely amazing job here, Luke. One of the best teams I've ever seen drafted on the show, and stuck to your guns as well. You said your first tip, you were like, some of these leagues don't last forever. You got to go in, you got to go heavy at the start. You can see why you should do that here because this is the kind of team you can end up with. So, look, just wanted to say, cheers. Thank you so much for coming on. It's absolutely brilliant having you on.
It's been a pleasure.
Had a great laugh, and for everybody watching, don't forget here, We've got the Hall of Flame. Luke is determined. He's not even shooting for 3 or 2. He's coming after the king. He's coming after Murph. So he's wanting to get number 1. So let's see if we can help him out and make sure you're giving him a like on the video. If it gets any thumbs down, Murph, we know it's you. So make sure you give it a like, share this everywhere you can as well. And just once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. And Luke, once again to you, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Max. Appreciate it, mate.
Brilliant. And just as we cool off for another week, just remember, everybody at home, keep yourselves and your teams lit. See you later.